Hey guys, welcome to a new tutorial. Today's video I'm going to show you how to make a teleporter and Rec Room. So let's get into it. In order to start building, you will need to grab your makeup pen. You can do this by going over to your watch, then click on backpack, and click on use on the makeup pen. Or you could have the favorite option checked on, and you can grab the makeup pen from your back. So let's start with all the parts we're going to need to build the door. So hover over to the palette and then go into the search option over here. We are going to be needing a button, so let's type in button and spawn a button with the pen. We will also need the respawn chip, so type in respawn and spawn it. We will also need a vector. This will be used to determine the position and the rotation that the player will be respawning. We will also be needing a get position chip. And then lastly, I always like to add sound effects, so we're gonna get a SFX. These are the components that you need. Now let's start wiring it up. So in order to wire up this circuit, you will need to hover over to your makeup pen, go onto tools, and then go to the connect option. This is used to connect parts of the CV2 circuit. Once we press the button, we want to connect this to the respawn chip. So we want to connect this one over here to that one over there. We want the player that presses the button to respawn. So you want to connect the player to the target, because the target is the one that the chip is going to respawn. For the position, we would need to get the position of this vector component. So in order to get that, we use the get position chip. So you want to wire the top of this part into the position chip, and then the output into the input of the respawn chip, like that. And then lastly, we want to get the rotation. We get this from the vector of our vector component, and we wire it like this. So what basically now will happen is that we will spawn over here and we will be facing that direction. So let's try it. And we see it worked. Now let's turn this into a useful teleporting tool, which will teleport us up to the pad over there. Lastly, I want to add the sound effect. So we would be needing to connect this output into the input of the sound effect. Then we go over to the configure tool on our pen to choose the sound effect we want. I'm going to be choosing the sound effect called ding. Kind of sounds like an elevator. Alright, so now with the move tool, let's move all our parts up to the pad. So let's move this vector component over here. We could also move a little bit of the rest of the circuit over here to clear things up. Alright, so now when we press this button, we will spawn over there in that direction. And there you go. And now lastly, we want one more thing. We want the teleporter also to go back. So what we now want to do is we want to go over to the pen and use the clone tool. So we actually want to select this circuit with the select tool. And then go over to the clone tool and clone our circuits. So now let's set up our second teleporter. I'm going to press this button over here with our new vector component over here. And then let's also bring these over there. And then lastly, I want to go over to the connect tool and then wire the output of the respawn back into the SFX. I didn't clone this sound effect twice because we're actually saving inked by not cloning it, because we can just use the same sound effect for the same purpose over here. So now let's try it and see if our teleporter works. We're spawning over here, and now when I press this button, I'm spawning back. Alright guys, so that's how you make a simple teleporter in Rec Room. I hope you were able to learn how to make a teleporter, and if you have any ideas for new tutorials, let me know in the comments. And I'll see you in the next one.